Hey, this is your boy, the one and only Manny Moonraker, calling. Somebody is calling me. Hey, this is the thing about doing this shit live. Like, all of a sudden, I hit the freaking start button for this damn podcast, and somebody decides to call me on my damn cell phone, right? And as you heard, yeah, I'm a bit of a gangster sometimes. I do listen to Post Malone once in a while. And there it is. Now I'm going to get flagged because Post Malone showed up on my podcast. What kind of shit is this? Anyway, let me just start from the beginning. Thank you for joining me today at UFO Buster Radio, episode number 205 of the UFO Buster Radio News. And we got Planet 9, and it's back here again. It just will not go away. God damn, I can't believe that happened just now. By the way, you know, I always got to start the podcast by telling you guys not to forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Twitter at UFO Buster Radio. Facebook page is Manny Moonraker and UFO Buster Radio. And on Instagram, which is a little dead in the water, at Manny Moonraker. But you know what? I can say this much, that good old Bugs the UFO Hunter has been on it, man. He loves Instagram, so he's going to get back to it and do what he's got to do. Because he's a wild and crazy guy. So earlier I announced, earlier in the last episode actually, that UFO Buster Radio, myself, Manny Moonraker, is going to be joining the Big Dime Betting Podcast. And we're in the works of starting that. You know, one of the things as a podcaster that you have problems with, and let me just get into this because you guys, you listen to a bunch of people. There's no money in podcasting, and the podcast hosts, they take money from your podcasters all the time by running fucking ads over and over and over again, but they don't see any money from that. So what we're doing with Big Dime Betting, and one of the reasons why it's taking a little bit to get that together is because we're going to host it ourselves. That's right. We're for the people, to the people, on the people, outside of the people. We're going to do it. And we're going to do this ourselves. We're going to host it ourselves. And then, you know, eventually, it's going to go out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry the way it is. You know, Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, all the other craziness. But what I want you to do is this. Stop fucking around. Support the Moonraker. Go to the Twitter handle at Big Dime Betting. All one word. And follow me there. There's some tweets going on right now about sports. And again, if you're into sports, right, fuck it. Go ahead and do it. If you're not into sports, go ahead and fucking do it anyway. Because it's going to be me on there. I'm going to have other members on there with me of the Big Dime Betting crew. And listen, they might be serious as fuck when they go on there. I mean, some of them might be hardcore UFC fans. And they're not going to want to be, you know, fucking around with the Moonraker. But you know how it goes. You know how it's going to play out. I'm going to bring the devil out of these people. I'm telling you, as I am my witness right now, and you are my witness, I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring the devil out of them in that podcast, guaranteed. But let's stop fucking around here because I think we have probably a news article to slightly talk about. It's not, listen, it's an ongoing shit. What can you do? You know, the one thing that news intro does for me, it gets me stoked for Avengers Endgame. I'm just saying, that's all I'm going to say about that. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to get into Endgame and all the rumors that are going out and which one of those superheroic fuckers is going to die. I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe later, because shit. And by the way, you know, when you look at media, especially movies have accepted aliens like for decades. Why can't we accept them in real life? I mean, they're not all wearing spandex. What the fuck? The article titled, Astronomers Are Closer Than Ever to Spotting Planet 9. It's a fascinating article. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, I was looking for UFO stories, and I came across a shitload, not even a plethora, it was like a shitload of Planet 9, Planet X stories. Once in a while, some rubber dicker will come out and say, Nibiru, listen, you do whatever you want. You do you, I do me. I'm not going to call it fucking Nibiru. Unless I see them gigantic fallen angels on it, I'm not going to call it Nibiru. So we're not going to go that route. But the article is referring to this thing as Planet 9. And actually, I don't know about you guys, but ever since this thing came around, we've been seeing all these different names, Planet X, Planet 9. I thought initially that Planet X was because it was going to be the 10th planet. And then, you know what they did? They rubber dick Pluto. But apparently that's not why the X is there. So I actually looked it up, and I have a link in here also that you guys can go read. And it's actually to the folks at NASA. But here's the deal, right? Apparently, since Pluto got demoted, like I said, back in 2006, to becoming a dwarf planet, and that's the political way to say it, because you can't really say midget planet. It doesn't really work. And maybe I should do that the rest of the podcast, just call it a midget planet. And listen, I don't understand why midget is such a bad word. We used to have midget wrestling. Did they change that to dwarf wrestling? Shit, I'm doing a sports podcast. I got to figure that out. Anyway, it turns out that there is proof, as we've been talking about several times in the last year, that there could be a Planet 9. And the reason being is that there's issues in the Kuiper Belt, some weird things happening that could only happen if you have a large body of something sitting the fuck out there in the middle of nowhere. Now, we did have an article, I think it was last month, where they said that maybe it's a gigantic group of things, not a planet, but a cluster fuck of things that are sitting out there in the Kuiper Belt that are acting like a big mass. But what they're finding, it's a little strange. Now, just to give you guys some background, it was in 2016 that a paper written by astrophysicist Konstantin Batygin and Michael Brown, his name is boring as fuck, actually talked about the fact that there's an impact to the Kuiper Belt things that are floating out there, you know, the meteors and asteroids and all that shit, the asteroids and all the dwarf planets that are out there. They're being impacted by what could be a gravitational pull by something massive. So some of the things, and this is the thing, like you read different articles and they all say some shit different, but this article said this, and this is fascinating, and it makes more sense to me. And said what they discovered was that the Kuiper Belt region comets and asteroids, their orbits were the same. And moreover, a little moreover than that, was that their orbits all tilted in the same way. So that gave them the idea that there is something massive, one item, you know, influencing these Kuiper Belt situations through a singular, gravitational pull. They're thinking that the way this is going down, that it is very possible that these Kuiper Belt deals here, that they're being impacted by a planet that's 5 times the size of planet Earth. And they're calling it a super Earth. Now, I don't even think that's a good term for it, because a super Earth, when we think about Earth, we think about a blue planet, you know, fishes, people, cops and robbers, movies. We're not going to, I doubt we're going to see that in whatever this Planet 9X is going to be. You know, I'm sure it's probably going to be some kind of a gas deal or a frozen-ass planet. So I doubt it's going to be a super Earth. But hey, who knows? Who the fuck knows? I don't know. NASA doesn't know. Nobody fucking knows. Now, it turns out that even though they may not be talking about this thing constantly, there is an active search for Planet 9. And at the moment, there are scientists that are using the Japanese Subaru Telescope in Hawaii. And it's actually the observatory by the name of Mauna. Yeah, Mauna. And they're using that to observe what the hell is going on in our solar system. And part of that is trying to figure out what the hell is happening beyond the Kuiper Belt. And, you know, this is how they triangulate shit, right? They're going to figure out what's going on and how the hell is it they're going to track this thing. And here's the weird thing. The orbit around the sun for this particular mysterious planet is between 10,000 and 20,000 Earth years. That's a long fucking time. And, we really haven't been looking that long, so who knows where the fuck this thing is? I don't know. And they don't know it either. That's why it's been, 2016, we're in 2019, they still don't have a fucking clue. So, like I was saying, they believe it's 5 times the size of the planet Earth, and its orbit is somewhere beyond Pluto. I'm sorry, beyond Neptune. So, I got into this whole thing about Planet X. What the fuck is Planet X? Why do people keep... I thought at first Planet X was like a Doomsday X. Like, that's the Earth killer. Basically, the Doomsday, end of the world. That Planet X was the one who's going to do it. It turns out that the reason why there's an X is because it's not named. The X is just like a placeholder. There is a link in here to NASA where they talk about Planet 9/X. And let me just read a little bit of it. It says, Caltech researchers have found mathematical evidence suggesting there may be a Planet X deep in the solar system. This hypothetical Neptune-sized planet orbits our sun in a highly elongated orbit far beyond Pluto. The object, which the researchers have nicknamed Planet 9, could have a mass about 10 times that of Earth and an orbit about 20 times farther from the sun on average than Neptune. And again, it takes about 10,000 to 20,000 Earth years for it to make a full orbit around the sun. Now, they went on to also add this. The announcement does not mean there is a new planet in our solar system. Yeah, no shit. The existence of this distant world is only theoretical. And there is no, zero, none, not a single damn thing that even looks like remotely a direct observation of the object nicknamed Planet 9. And it says the mathematical prediction of a planet could explain the unique objects of some smaller objects in the Kuiper Belt, a distant region of icy debris that extends beyond the orbit of Neptune. And so they are searching for it. It's fascinating, right? Now, there was another article I came across, which I don't have it listed in here. That particular article said Planet 9, Planet X, or whatever you want to call it, will not be found until 2030. 2030. Are you serious? You know how long that's going to be? Ain't nobody has time for that. And really, if it's going to be that far away, fuck, let Elon Musk take some freaking telescope over to Mars. He could find it. That dude could do it. I mean, he could do anything. It's a fucking superhero. I want to welcome Ronnie Dawson. Ronnie Dawson is on live with me right now in the chat box. And, yeah, Ronnie says there is, what? What do you say, Ronnie? Oh, he said Trump's going to build a wall around it. Yeah, he probably will if he can. Or he'll paint it all in gold and call it the new Trump planet. Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, there you go. So, Ronnie, you're on top of this now, Ronnie. You got to go out there and you got to find Planet X, Planet 9, Nibiru, whatever the fuck it is. Go out there and search. Let's find it. This is episode 205, and as you just noticed, sometimes I have people that come in, like the great one and only Ronnie Dawson, who actually gets a notification when I'm on live, because I am live right now, and they join the chat. I am going to predict that when we do our first interview for the UBR Truth Seekers members who have signed up to go ahead and be interviewed live, it will, like I said, it will be live. And you guys that are listening are more than welcome to join us. But the only way that you're going to know that we're on live is if you download Spreaker or you follow me on social media. I'll go out and I'll post to social media when exactly it is that we'll have these folks get on live with me. And we'll chew the fat, as they say. Hopefully not my fat, maybe somebody else's. But this is the episode for today. Planet 9, we're still looking for that fucker. No one's going to find it anytime soon, so don't get your panties up in a wad. Don't go out there and find yourself a fucking model of the solar system with like 15 planets, because that shit is probably from China, and the paint's going to kill you. But on the flip side, this is the end of the episode. Maybe I'll come back tomorrow. I don't know. We'll have to work on that and see what happens. But, hey, ciao.